Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations.
Dear Christopher, here is your friend Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it. I hope you will like them because you helped me to make them. Your loving, Daddy.
The message from the big city. It was evening on the island of Sodor, and Thomas the Tank Engine was pumping into the station for his last train of the day. Toby and Percy was at the station. They were glad to see Thomas. "Good evening, Thomas," said Percy. "Are you on your way to the sheds after you're done with your run?" "Yes, I am," said Thomas. "Why?" "Because we're going there too," said Toby, "since Albert has orders." I think something's up." "Where?" "Not up there, Percy. Down here, silly." "Oh, how can something be up when it's down?" Suddenly, just then, the engines heard a whistle and chuffing noise. Rosie, Stanley, Duck, Donald, and Douglas puffed past. Thomas, Toby, and Percy were surprised. "Good evening, you three," said Donald. "Lovely day, isn't it?" "Very splendid indeed." "Hey, sorry we can't talk, so Tom had one us in the sheds right now." "Wow, what's this all about?" "Well, I guess we have to find out soon enough. So come on, you two, let's go to the sheds." The engines were gathered at the timid sheds. They were all excited. Until... "Silence!" boomed Sir Topham Hatt. "Now, I have gathered you all here because I've got a letter from the little girl that's from the big city. Dear Thomas and his friends, please, can I meet you? My friends said they like all of you and your friends. You can come to my house for tea, but my mom said that there's no trash for you to puff into. So, can you come to the station instead? Thank you very much." It seems that the railway's ever-increasing popularity, and with the books, that more and more people would like to see you all. So, after making some arrangements, I would like to take some of my engines from 1 to 8 to come to the big city. And while we're gone, I would like some of you all to show the engines that are going to stay on Sodor to do their work and how they can manage. And so, I expect you all to be on your best behavior. And also, I will send 1 through 8 engines to get polished and clean so that we can go to the big city tomorrow. That night, the engines were talking about where they all sighted for. "Oh, I'm so excited. I've never been to the big city before." "Oh, I have," Percy said, going. "It's a long way. Oh, but the area is quite incredible." "Indeed it is, Gordon. I was there before I arrived on Sodor, and it was really grand." "Well, I'm definitely excited to be in Washington Parish. That way I shall be the most splendidest red engine on the mainland." "It's really amazing that our popularity has grown so much." "And it's all thanks to me. That's why the pride of the line and the most famous engine in the railway books." If you didn't notice, that letter was addressed to me specifically. And it just goes to show how famous I am. Oh my, it seems like he forgot the part where he said, and his friends. Oh, don't worry, just ignore him. He'll get over. Oh, really? Well, then what makes you so famous engine for now? Well, did you know the popular book about the railways is about me? All the passengers come to see me and to travel on my branch line. And that is the best part of the whole island. Oh, here we go again. The engines grumble. They are tired of Thomas's bragging. Oh, you know what? I think it's just best we all get some sleep. We have a busy day tomorrow, and the next day we'll be going to the big city, and I'd rather not have this argument right now. I quite agree with you, Henry. Now everyone, go to sleep. And so the engines did. The next day, all the engines were set to work. They were telling the engines about how they do their job so that they can take over. Annie and Crabber were going to the big city too. Thomas was tasked in showing Rosie and Stanley how he do his work. When he was finished, Thomas went to Morgan's mine so he, Rosie, and Stanley could shunt some trucks. Thomas was getting more and more excited, too excited for his own good. He began to boast it to Rosie and Stanley. I'm glad I'm a splendid engine. Everyone knows it, and even the people on the mainland do. And we wouldn't go to the big city if it wasn't for me. Rosie and Stanley didn't mind Thomas' stories. Soon they began to shunt. And Thomas was telling about the time he was pulling the trucks and almost fell off the wheels. You know, once I pulled the trucks, they would push me down the hill, and I was going too fast. Luckily, I was able to hit the bumps when we got to Edward Station. And that's when Thomas made his mistake. Thomas, before you do that, there was a brick wall. You're right, Rosie, said Stanley. The work is working on the tracks. And it's not finished yet. And then there was trouble. It was like this, Thomas posted. Oh. All right, Thomas, you okay? All right, Thomas, you okay? Luckily, no one was hurt, but Thomas's front was badly damaged. Telephones to Topham Hatt. I'll send the workman and I shall talk to Thomas later. Poor Thomas. That night, Thomas was at the works. He was thinking to himself about what he had done. Oh dear, I've been a silly engine. I made such a fool of myself. Indeed you have, Thomas. You have caused confusion and delay. You have upset my arrangements greatly. And I have no choice that if they can't mend you in time, that we should have to go to the big city without you. I hope this will teach you not to be full of yourself, Thomas. Good night. So Topham Hatt walked away to his home, leaving Thomas to ponder. I won't be able to go to London? Oh, what have I done? As Thomas was thinking it to himself, he saw Edward puffing into the sheds for more parts for Thomas. Hello, Thomas. I just came to drop off some parts for you and to see how you are doing. Oh, Edward, I really messed up this time. How could I have been so reckless? It's really such a stupid thing to do. Of course I would have stopped in time, and I would have everything. I just really wish I could go back and redo what I did. Hey, Thomas, listen. Do you know why those books have been written about our railway? Well, it's because we're proper engines with faces. Besides that. Oh, well, I really not really sure. It's because of our experiences and how that include all of our mishaps. Reverend W. Aldrin and Britt Allcroft, not Britt Allcroft, but Reverend W. Aldrin wrote those books so that we can read and relate to our experiences. And Britt Allcroft had brought this TV show. And rest in peace of her and him and Reverend W. Aldrin as well. But anyways, this is where they can learn from our mistakes just as we have to. But you know, sometimes when we make mistakes, Thomas, the most important thing is that we learn from them. Thomas sighed. I really wish I would go to the big city with you all, Edward. I know, Thomas, and I'm really sorry that you won't be able to go. I bet the other engines would prepare if I didn't go anyway. No, Thomas, don't say that. You and I both know that you're not the first one to boast about something like this. And I'm sure they feel bad too. But I can talk to them if that will make you feel better. Well, I appreciate it with that. Thank you, Edward. Anytime, Thomas. Anytime. But I don't know if you will come to the big city with us. If not, I guess I'll see you in a few days, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. Thanks for talking to me, Edward. You're welcome, Thomas. And good night. The next morning had came, and all the engines were ready and raring to go. Gordon, James, and Henry were lined up. They was gonna lead the way. Edward, Percy, Toby, Duck, and Emily were gonna lead right behind. But some of them were getting impatient. I really hope he can make it. Me too. Okay, we will wait 5 more minutes for Thomas, but after that we have to leave. And all of that, they waited, and waited, and waited. Then suddenly the engines heard of a chuffing noise. It's Thomas! And sure it was Thomas. Oh gosh! Thank goodness you all still here. I hope we're not late and it's just after 8, sang Annie and Clarabelle. No, you're not late at all, Thomas. I'm really glad you can make it, Thomas. However, you really had this a really awkward predicament, and I really hope you have learned your lesson. Yes, sir, I have. And I'm really sorry. And I just really want to say sorry to everyone how I acted. I was silly to think that I was the most famous engine. I know we're not just famous because of the lines we run for how important roles on. And it's because of our experience and how we learn from them. Oh, don't worry, Thomas. We forgive you. You're not the first one to get too big for his buffers. We have been down that road before, and had we learned the hard way at some point. But the important thing is that, I know I've learned my lesson. You sure did, Thomas. And it doesn't matter how famous engine you are, you're still the most engine that you are on the island of Sodor. I had to agree with James. Oh, me too. I am glad to hear that, Thomas. Now we must go. We are running on a tight schedule. And the engines set off. Look out, big city. Here we come. It was a long way, but yet again, the engines arrived at the big city. The children was delighted to see the engines and how they read stories about them and how they have been watched TV about it. You know, being famous is great and all, but it's much better when you get to share fame with your friends. You're right, Thomas. And all of them had to agree.
Anything that diesels do, steamies know that they can too. Diesels do these engines who try to do things better. They both have a different role. We need oil, we need coal, and all of us have just one goal: try to do things
Six,